Well, the Snuggie is out, and we are rolling. I am joined by none other than Kachine Alexander. I don't have the Snuggie. You have the Snuggie. So
I mean, it's only right. It's only right.
It's not wintertime yet. It's not even November yet, Kachine.
It doesn't even matter. It is basketball season. Yeah. Snuggie basketball, Iowa basketball. Like, it's hand in hand at this point. I'll tell you.
It sure does. It sure does. It's good to see you. It's been a little while. I know we talked briefly, actually, when we had our show at Big Grove Brewery here in Central Iowa just about a month ago, and we talked a little bit of recruiting, and now the season's upon us. One in the books, not an official one, but an exhibition for your Iowa women. If you're new to the show, I'm joined by Hawkeye great Kachine Alexander, who was all Big Ten in Iowa City and brings an excellent flair to this show that we so miss in the off season. So Kachine, welcome back for your second official year. I know we did some work, I think, the previous season in the postseason, but then last year you were kind of out. So you make the show spin, you make it great. So thank you for being here. Before we break down what we saw in the exhibition, a big thank you to the people that can make this possible and that we want you to support, you the viewer. One being Big Grove Brewery down in Des Moines, in Iowa City, Solon, Cedar Rapids. They just opened a store in Omaha, and we've got some cool things in the works with Big Grove, but we've already done a couple of live shows. We had the one where Kachine called in to talk recruiting. You can view all of those shows on YouTube, but they are the official craft brewery of the Hawkeyes. They're also the official watch party headquarters of the Hawkeyes. Visit their locations. You can check them all out at biggrove.com. Again, that's www.biggrove.com. Also, RTI Threads. We've had them for several years, and they are giving us our player of the game. They're sponsoring our player of the game here in this exhibition, which we'll talk about. Hannah Stuelke with 23 points, 10 of 16 from the field, along with 9 rebounds and 4 assists. But RTI Threads, they feature a bunch of Hawkeye athletes. Right now, they're featuring their 4 football athletes: Aaron Graves, Zach Lutmer, Jacob Gill, Carson Shire, and a little birdie told me that the Iowa football team has a pretty good big game coming up in just over a week against the Oregon Ducks. So support those guys. Maybe give them a little juice, a little positive juice before game week against the Ducks. Again, rtithreads.com. Use that /NIL. Again, rtithreads.com. Use the /NIL. Okay, Kachine, this was a game that, Jan's teams, I guess I was never accustomed to the idea of not playing an exhibition where the public can come watch. The men have introduced me to that motto, I guess, that Ben McCollum has. So I've been so accustomed to watching Iowa basketball exhibitions, not just on the women's side, but on the men's side as well. We won't get it on the men's side this year because they opted to play a couple of secret scrimmages behind closed doors. So I want to ask you about that, just that mindset, and also what Jan Jensen / Lisa Bluter's mindset was when you were there about these early season games that don't count for the actual record. But just give me your biggest takeaways from a 41-point win over a Division II team in Carver.
I always think exhibition games are so hard to play. I think there's a lot of nerves. There's a lot of excitement. Finally, you're going against somebody other than the people you see every day. The lights are on, that kind of thing. So there's so many emotions that run through you. And then come like halftime, beginning of the third quarter, it's kind of like, all right. So I always feel like exhibitions are hard for players. I will say that. For coaches, it's a good thing, obviously, if you like that for a coach, because now you're able to see your players against other people in that aspect. Now, some people prefer, like you said before, some people prefer fans versus no fans. Honestly, I've been a part of both. Players, I guess, well, Lisa Bluter always did exhibition games like tonight. So I was not a part of that as a player, but as a coach, I've done both, where it's like just scrimmages versus not. So I see the benefits of both in that aspect. Not surprised that the men are doing that because they are a brand new staff. They're a brand new team. They're brand new everything. It makes sense for them to do more closed than out to the public. So I kind of agree with that. Now on to the game. There were some really good bright spots. I mean, one of them I kind of knew to a degree, which was Chit Chat. But her passing and her ability in the offense to get the ball moving and find the right person is something I was not expecting. I knew she would be a good passer, but not to that degree. And just kind of her poise. She seems like one of those even keels, not going to rock the boat, like in regards to somebody you can count on every night. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And I didn't know that piece about her.
So let me interject real quick on that, Sheen, because I know you're going to go into some other players as well. I agree with you. The first thing that I thought when I saw this game, I actually got into the game a little late, so I had to go back and watch the first quarterback. But the first thing that came to my mind as I was watching the first few minutes was she looked like the most confident player. And I mean, maybe that's because she's got the ball in her hands the most as a point guard, but I thought she looked more confident than everybody. That includes Kylie Feuerbach, Taylor McCabe. So, yeah, to your point, I mean, composure, especially from a second-year player transfer.
And we're going to need that. I keep thinking about last year and all the times that we just looked helter-skelter all over the place. With her kind of taking the reins, I don't see that being a problem in regards to that. So that's good. Something you can button up from last year that was a problem. So she was exciting to see in a different way. When we say exciting, most people think energy. Most people think things like that. She was exciting to see because of her poiseness. And like I said before, everybody, you could feel the jitters through the screen. I mean, I'm sure you could feel it in the building. You could feel it through the screen, except for her. That was the one person where I did not feel like you felt any jitters from her. She was like, coming to work. Here we go. There was no anything for her. And I love that, especially in the point guard position. Emily, I think that's how you say her name, right? Emily? Okay. Spelled differently, but well, she's wearing 21. So I'm a little biased, but
Wait a minute. That number is up for grabs. Okay, it's not in the rafters yet. All right, go ahead.
Okay. I am biased for the simple fact that if you wear 21, you got to come with it. So I was very happy with what I saw from her. I thought that she brings a different level of toughness that I don't think we've seen in a little while in regards to kind of that brute behavior, kind of like Sydney Falter, actually, if we're going to be honest, but a little bit smoother.
Yeah.
Sydney is very like blue collar, in that sense. She's got a little bit more flair to her than Sydney does.
She's a better natural athlete.
Yes.
Yeah.
She's a three-way player. She can shoot the three. I saw her, although she missed it, but even kind of like that Dirk Nowitzki step back, like, okay, you have that in your bag. Okay. So I just got a
Mavs. I got an preseason Mavs reference from Kachine. How about that? Go ahead.
Sorry. I mean, that is a Dirk, whatever. Anyways,
Dirk.
I really like her. I wouldn't be surprised if she's starting at some point, but that's no here nor there. But I really liked her. I think those two transfer pickups were probably huge. Bigger than I think we all thought to begin with.
Yeah.
And they're going to be huge for us this year for sure. Ava, I'm so happy to see her and what she's doing. She's finishing off where she left off. I love that. Again, not surprised at all. I felt like she would kind of carry that into the summer anyways. Addie did not have a good showing today. But I'm not panicking. I think that sometimes it's hard coming in as a freshman, a highly recruited freshmen, things like that. So I'm gonna let her settle in a little bit before anything. She's a little raw. Her defense, woo!
Yeah,
Whew,
there's
that was stressful.
There's a reason she's not starting. There's a reason.
No. I'm glad she doesn't have that kind of pressure on her. I don't know who decided to bring in Chit Chat, but that could not have been the most. That's the most amazing move I think we've made. Because having to have her step into that role as a freshman I wouldn't wish that on anybody, especially as a point guard of any sort. So it gives her some time to kind of, settle in that. But I mean, she's a McDonald's All-American for a reason. So, I mean, that's a given. She just needs to catch up to speed. She looked a couple steps slow in that aspect. A couple travels. She's got to catch the game a little bit because practice is different than a real game. But I'm not like, oh my God, I'm not that. And she has some film to look at now.
I like this comment from Patrick Wilson. He says his Big Ten Plus feed was great, and the announcers were like the Jason Benetti, Rebecca Lobo tier of Big Ten Plus announcers. A+ per. I will give I will say this: Big Ten Plus was a lot better tonight. The two young guys who did I don't know who they are. Kudos, because I've ripped on Big Ten Plus. Those guys did actually very well. There was a slip up where one of them called Jen Jansen. Besides that, everything else was really good. No, I in all seriousness, they did a really sublime job this evening. So credit to those guys. So a couple things before we get, and we have the call line open. I see we've got James on hold. The phone line, folks, if you're new to the show or you just don't remember the number, I'll throw it up here. There it is. 515-635-1601. 515-635-1601 if you want to call in. I mentioned Hannah Stuelke as our RTI Threads player of the game, I guess, at least through one half. And this is her overreaction Thursday, right? You come after an exhibition game, you're going to overreact to certain things. So you try to take it with a grain of salt, Kachine. But I want to start with the first thing. We'll put our phone line caller on hold. I guess the first half, to me, it just looked like this is going to be a paint-dominated Iowa basketball team. And, Chit Chat, having her, like you said, wow, what a blessing to get her in the backcourt. But am I wrong in saying that this team is going to live and die in the post? Like, it's going to have to be Stuelke and Laila at times, but mostly Ava Hayden working off one another for this team to be good.
I think it's going to have to be an inside-outside thing, if I'm going to be honest with you. When I say that, meaning the ball does have to go inside to come out, if that's the case. Now, again, I would like to see a little bit more showing of us being able to create our own shot. And I haven't fully seen that yet, but again, it's the first game, so I'm not. But it's nice to have Ava, right? Just an easy turn around and layup. We love that. Doesn't have to make it too. It's simple. It's simple. This might be the one season where I'm like, we don't have a ton of shooters. Like when I'm talking about typical Iowa shooters. Okay, we're not talking about what we've been capable in the previous years.
The Caitlin era. The Caitlin era, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, previously. Even before that, we had shooters. That's what we was known for. So I'm curious to see how that transpires. But the good thing is that we do have some pretty good post players. So I'm not mad about it.
So real quick, and I'm going to give you a heads up so you're not floored by this. This is a StreamYard. You and I should have had this conversation beforehand. But if you see the little viewership number, if you hover over that viewership number, that is an accurate count of our live viewers on YouTube. The X count is not accurate. So we are simulcasting on X. That X count is not accurate. So for the 400 people who are watching currently on YouTube, thank you. And for anybody who is watching on Twitter/X, thank you. We don't have a live count on that, but that's okay. We know we're over there. And hopefully the stream is up for some people who are more comfortable on that platform. So that's why we're doing it. The reason I brought up the post is, what you said, inside out. I get that's the natural, go-to here, or should be. boy, again, how big is it to have Chit Chat? I just wonder, is this team good enough on the perimeter? Like, are they going to be good enough functioning through a core of Kylie Fierbach, Taylor McCabe, and Chit Chat? And by the way, I think of those three players, I think this is Overreaction Thursday. I already think Chit Chat is the best of those three players. So that's how I feel right now. And maybe Emily Rodriguez would be number 2, frankly.
Outside of Lucy, because we don't have a Lucy, the rest of the core is better.
What do you mean the rest of the core is better?
Like if we take Lucy out the game, take her out right now. Well, you take the rest of the group that we had last year as far as guards are concerned, I feel like the guards that we have now are better.
Well, the only difference is the players I just named are a little older, and then they added Chit Chat and Emily.
There you go.
Okay.
So maybe with all of those things combined, it might work in our favor.
Yeah. Did you see anything from Kylie tonight that
absolutely not?
Okay. Well, I don't know. I'm just saying it's too early to tell, but I mean,
it should not be too early to tell. She's a 5th-year senior.
Okay. Yeah, her stats were not great tonight. Played 25 minutes, 5 points, 1 of 5 from the field, 0 of 2 from 3. Let's see. 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 turnover. Again, Overreaction Thursday. Everything we say, take with a grain of salt because it's one game. It's an exhibition.
She's just going to be what she's going to be.
Well, but that's why I say I don't know that. That's why I think Emily, based on what we saw tonight, might have to start. I don't know what starts. Does she start at the 3?
We are not making predictions. Absolutely not. Hey, no.
Again, no. Hannah Stuelke, our RTI Threads player of the game. Let's go to our first caller because James has been on hold for a long time. James, welcome to the show, sir.
How you doing?
We're doing good. Good to see you.
Oh, yeah, it was good to see you guys. It's good to have some basketball back. It means a lot to me. It makes me ready for the season as well, but it's just good to see basketball on because obviously I like football, but basketball's my first love, so obviously being able to watch basketball is always fun time. But I agree with Cash in the fact of I think this team is better suited than last year's team in the fact of Emily, Chit Chat, and then just I feel like you can trust those people more than you could trust not having. Obviously, you don't have Lucy, right? But not having Lucy last year, you had to rely on Sid and Kylie, and nothing wrong with Sid. Obviously, I love her and I'm happy she's on staff, right? But I feel more comfortable having to trust Chit Chat and Emily than having to trust a Sid or a Kylie from last year, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What do you mean by you think Kylie's not going to play as much? If she's going to play,
no, I'm saying last year she had to have the ball sometimes in her hands when Lucy wasn't playing this and that. She can play a better role fitted for her, not having to do as much with the ball because you have Emily, you have Chit Chat, right? So she doesn't have to play on the ball as much as she did last year because when you have Lucy out there, you really didn't have another guard out there when Lucy was out, if that makes sense, right? You didn't have that much depth at the point guard position. People to bring the ball up as much.
Saying, James.
Yeah, so, I mean, Lucy. I guess that's. I understand what you're saying. The only thing that I would respond Lucy played. How many minutes a game did she average last year? She played a ton of minutes, and so I'm not saying that those minutes she didn't play weren't important, but I guess I'm more concerned with the minutes they have to make up without her there, as opposed to the minutes that she wouldn't be playing if she was here. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, you're right. I think what Kachine said earlier is true. They're more equipped. If she was there, they're more equipped to deal without her on the court, but now they have to deal without her on the court the whole time. Are they better equipped collectively? I mean, I can't make that call after one game.
Yeah.
I just think, imagine if they didn't have Chit Chat. I mean, I'd be very, very concerned right now. But everybody told me, just a reminder, everybody told me that Aaliyah Guyton leaving didn't make a difference because she wasn't going to start anyways. I can tell you, folks, they planned on her starting. I can tell you that on 100% authority. Iowa.
Yeah, they're going to get Chit Chat after.
Yeah, the staff planned on Aaliyah Guyton being the point guard this year. So the fact that they were able to bounce back from that loss, and it was a loss because they planned on her being the starter, with a grab and Chit Chat, and then getting extra support with Emily. And Emily is, like you said, Kachine, I don't want to say the perfect replacement for Sydney, but there is about as close a comparison as you could imagine. So to get somebody like that out of the portal that's already proven at the high major level and might actually be a better athlete and has a 3 years in front of her, what a luxury that is. And both those grabs are just massive, James.
Yeah, for sure. And I feel like just watching this team, obviously it's the D2 team, right? It's Ashland. You can't really hold high stock in this game and the fact of like you did what you're supposed to do, if that makes sense, right? Like you beat them by 40, you're supposed to beat them by 40, right? You're playing a D2 team. There was a little sloppiness there, obviously, but it's their first game, and sometimes you get that jitters, and also sometimes when you know you're supposed to do a lot and you're supposed to win a game by a lot, you make some mistakes that you shouldn't make. I feel like sometimes that happens with a lot of people where they're like, oh, we should win this game easily, and they make a mistake that they probably shouldn't make sometimes with the ball. And then it's like, okay, you turn it over a couple times because you
let me say this.
Because you think it should be better. But
I would not say that you're supposed to beat a team by X amount of points. And I say that because Ashland is a very good D2 team. They have been a very good D2 team for years.
Yeah.
So with that being said, now the fact of the matter is that they're ranked. They're ranked, right? You're supposed to win. But I do think putting up 100 points on Ashland, and Ashland loves to score. That's what they do. And why they've won national championships at the D2 level. So the bright side of things, because I remember everybody said I was so negative, is that that the fact that you're beating, and I think Ashland is ranked in D2 right now, or preseason, whatever you call it. So the fact that we are winning against a team like that, and I can't say we would have done that last year. Not gonna lie. This early, right? We still have a new team to a degree, right? You still have a lot of new players. We had a lot of new players last year. And I'm not sure that if we played Ashland last year that we would have won by 40 in that aspect. But again, I think that for a first game to get the jitters out, to kind of, get everything out of your system is a great showing and a good upside, I would say, for new players, some old, but then there's also room to grow for some people who just needed a little bit of extra time.
Yeah, and I'll get to one more thing and then I'll let you get to more callers. So let's say the starting five for today is the starting five to start the season, right? Obviously, that's probably what's going to happen, right? What is your ideal rotation? Obviously, Emily's probably your sixth, right?
Yep.
And then after that, how deep do you think they go to start the year, if that makes sense? Like, what do you think?
Starts of the year, Jan Jensen going 10 deep. I can tell you that right now.
So she's going 10 deep. So the cutoff.
To start.
So let's just see. You go, assuming what James said, McCabe, Bierbach, Hayden, Chit Chat, Stuelke. Then you go Emily, Taylor, Strimlow, Addie
Deal. The
Hayes.
Who?
Hayes. Laila Hayes.
Yep.
Mulaney or Journey Houston, who's the 10th.
I'm picking Journey, but that's my personal opinion.
I would be shocked if they don't try to get Mulaney minutes every game.
Of course they're going to try to get her minutes. I'm just saying that's what I would choose.
She's can I remind you that Tegan Mulaney was a 4-star recruit out of McFarland High School in Wisconsin?
That means nothing, because wasn't Jada Jeffrey somewhere close?
I don't know. She was.
Wasn't she a 4-star?
I don't know. Were they? I don't know.
So again, listen, I say this all the time, and I've always been this way.
Yes, he was. By the way, Jada was a 4-star recruit according to ESPN.
Exactly.
Well,
so, I don't really care about stars. I've never cared, honestly, because translation to the college game sometimes does not work out for people. So, but of course, she's going to go 10 deep. That's a given. And she might go 11 at the beginning just to see where people fit, because you kind of have to, because you want to see, who's going to do what and where you can play people. I just don't know right? Mulaney is going to be a 3. Tegan is going to be a 3.
I think
4,
she can't
3, 4, right?
3, 4 for sure. 3, 4
She's
for sure.
already third down in the 3 spot, right? In the 4 spot,
well,
I'm not choosing Tegan Mulaney to guard nobody in the 4 spot.
Well, and the problem with
Houston.
The thing about playing the 4, Houston's not a 4 either, but the
that
problem
she was playing it today.
Well, the problem with anybody playing the 4 is Stuelke's going to gobble up 35 minutes a game. Anyways.
100%.
Yeah.
See where the problem lies, Corey. Remember I said math ain't math. It's not enough time. See,
anything else, James?
No, I was just going to say that was the most important thing. I think you get out of this, obviously, is more like not really rotations, obviously, because you're not playing your full rotation. Obviously, you're playing some of the guys too. But I feel like that's the interesting thing going into Monday is like, what is your rotation going to look like once the season actually starts? And obviously, Southern is not a UNI or a different opponent you're going to play the rest of the year, right? Iowa State or anything like that, right? But still, what is the rotation going to look like when you get into the bulk of the year, if that makes sense?
Well,
we'll see.
Need some games. The good thing for the women is this was an opportunity in front of a crowd because their their early season ramps up. I mean, they just have a tougher non-conference than the men do. So I can kind of see both sides of, Ben McCollum's decision to do what he did, Jan Jensen's decision to stick with what they've known. I think it's important for those young players like Journey Houston and Addie Deal and Laila Hayes to play in front of people. Whereas with the men, they don't got freshman problems. They just got acclimation problems. They just got to learn to play together and work through situations. So I don't think the crowd's going to be an issue for the men, if that makes sense. Not that it will be an issue for the women. But yeah, I mean, somebody made the comment earlier, was Addie dealing with some jitters tonight? I'm sure she was. Of course she was. She had a big smile on her face, though, when she got in for the first time, which, she'll always remember that moment. But anyways, James, appreciate you calling in, sir, and we'll look forward to a full season of chatting.
Yeah, for sure. Enjoy you guys' night and go Hawks always. And I hope the girls can just be good. I know there's mixed I don't know about mixed expectations, but I don't know what other people think about this group, but I just hope they do what I expect them to do, and that's just play real good basketball, So
they're on the start there. So thank you, James. All right, RC Deal with Iowa. Thank you for being here. What's up? Absolutely. Great to be back. And Nicholas always knew Emily Rodriguez was tough, but man, she was on fire. There are a couple of early comments here from Real Malice that I really wanted to highlight. Great comments. Real Malice says, Emily's a dog. Chit Chat is tiny but quick, has great hands, good touch around the rim. McCabe, still a flamethrower. Ava might end the season as the best rebounder in the country. Hannah still spent a lot of time back to the basket, but was dominant. Deal didn't look out of place, but seemed young and anxious. She'll be a problem in a year or two. Strem is the general. There's a comprehensive breakdown. I will say, again, I'm going to say the term overreaction Thursday a million times today because, if I don't, people will overreact to what I say. But based on what we saw tonight, Stremlo's got to play better. Okay. Like she's got to be able to knock down a 3. She's 0 for 4 tonight. She's got to be able to hit a 3. She scored 1 point. She had 2 assists, 2 turnovers. She's got to produce better numbers than that. It's not all about numbers for her. She's going to be a leader, her personality leader. She's got to be a good defender, but she's got to produce better numbers when she plays double-digit minutes.
Yeah.
Okay. Also, based on what we saw tonight, it does not appear that Kenise Johnson, Jada Gemfe, or Callie Levine have made any headway to deserve minutes. In the case of Callie, year 2, Jada, year 4, Kenise, I believe, year 3. It does not appear that way. Now, Kenise, I'll give her some grace. And by the way, you can't play all, 15? You can't. So somebody's not going to play, right? And you told me this last year. Last year was the first year I learned that they really don't redshirt people in the women's game. And they're all on scholarship. Nobody's coming in as walk-ons. So You're going to have somebody that plays the bench role. You're going to have somebody that plays the TikTok leader. And that's what they have in Jada and Callie, I guess.
Callie is Jada Jr. at this point.
Well, it's year 2 for her. I remained hopeful that during the offseason, it was brought up, hey, Jada was a 4-star coming out of high school. Callie was Miss Iowa. She's really good for Solon. So far, we have not seen that translate over to Big Ten Iowa basketball. And I didn't see indication tonight that those two have made a significant jump to where they're going to be able to jump into the rotation.
She airballed 2 wide open threes.
Say that again.
She airballed 2 wide open threes.
Callie. Yeah. Callie was 0 for 2 from 3 late. Jada was 0 for 1. I think the biggest thing for me, Kachine, is those two played 5 minutes and 5 minutes respectively. And they didn't get in the game until the 4th quarter. Now, it's an exhibition.
Yeah.
It's not like the men's game where you can play a player
they could have played in the 3rd quarter.
They could have played at any point, but I'm saying in the men's game, a non-rotation player may play earlier and could play as long as they want in an exhibition because it won't count against their red shirt. But of course,
Jan Jensen told you exactly what the season is going to look like.
Yeah, that's what it felt like to me. That's what it felt like. It felt like she came out with a rotation like she's going to come out in a few days in game 1, and things can change as the season progresses. But I would think that if there was a chance that those players had taken a jump, we would have seen them earlier because it felt like she was playing the girls that she is going to play moving forward. But we'll see. All right, let's go to our phone line. Thank you for calling Iowa Postgame with Kachine Alexander. Who's on the line?
This is Andrew. How are you guys?
Andrew, we're good. How are you?
Good. Glad to be back.
Glad to be back. We're right there with you. It's October, but basketball's here. We'll take it.
That's right. And Jada and Callie ain't playing at all. I mean, love them, but
all right.
Callie's taking over Jada's podcast. That's what Callie's going to do.
Oh, no, that's not a bad idea. No, that's just
like that. That is funny.
NIL. Hey, you don't have to.
Yeah, no.
Everybody has a role.
Free car for 2 more years. Yeah.
You do not have.
Everybody has a role.
Yep, and
oh yeah, no, 100%.
And if I'm Jada, kudos for her to sticking around because, frankly, if she went somewhere else, she probably would not be marketable because she's not playing minutes and she's not playing somewhere else unless she goes really low major. And honestly, at a low major, you're not marketable. She's more marketable here off the bench because she has a social media presence and she has her podcast and all that. And frankly, if Callie doesn't improve to a point where she's playable, I could see her fitting into that same fold. That's a good comment.
And Jada has a couple of famous best friends too. That probably helps a little bit.
Does.
And Corey, I've got to agree with Kachine. There's no way after tonight, I know it's overreaction Thursday, that Tegan Mulaney is playing over Journey Houston.
Really?
Thank you, Andrew.
No way.
No.
Okay.
Plus, Journey Houston was the 80th, was an underrated recruit. And you can record me right now, and I will say that Journey Houston will be one of the steals of the 2026 class.
2025.
Does she have 8 boards? 7 boards? What'd she have today? 7, 8, 9 boards?
Journey Houston finished with, she had 7 rebounds tonight. In
how many minutes?
11 minutes.
That's crazy.
And in the Big Ten, what do you need? You need to be tough you need another dog underneath. And Journey Houston, I think, is going to be that off the bench for us. You need a rebound, Journey will go get it.
She is. I will say this about Journey: she is not going to be easy to move around. And you don't typically say that about freshmen, but she's how do I say that politically correct for the women's game?
We're a lot more physical than we were last year.
There you go.
Without it sounding weird, she's built. She's built as a freshman more than your average freshman.
Yeah, and
she has a college-ready body. That's what we put in the when we're watching AAU. We say college-ready body.
Okay, there you
go. Yeah, that's better too. Yeah, and Emily Rodriguez is taking either Kylie or Taylor's starting spot by the time the conference
It
comes.
ain't gonna be Taylor. It'll be Kylie.
What do you mean it's not going to be Taylor?
Because Taylor, even if, right, she could be 0 for 6, and then people still gonna be in her jersey because of her capability. That spreads the entire floor. If Kylie is out there, you ain't got to do that. So,
but don't you think Taylor's got to score a mid-range or drive every once in a while?
I mean, again, like I said, the mid-range is a lost art. But technically speaking, and I say this all the time, you can use her for many different aspects. You can use her as decoys. Somebody gonna lose her. That's how she gets her shots. People lose her. That's really what it is. But at the same point in time, if we're talking about an inside game, that's what you need. You need her out there in the corner because nobody's coming to help if she's out there. And again, even if you have Emily, she seems to be capable of shooting a 3. So that also pushes everybody out and opens up the paint a little bit more. Then you've got Chit Chat, who's going to be able to break down a defender and create for not only the post, but also create for her wide open shooters. So that's why I feel like it's not going to be Taylor because of just the attention that she grabs on the court, regardless if that's all she can do. You still got to respect it one way or the other.
Yeah, I was going to bring up the same thing. Like, just having a threat that can stretch the floor, space the floor, is huge. And that's what I don't know. Like with Kylie, to me, that's the big thing for Kylie. I think she is what she is in a lot of respects. But again, tonight, Overreaction Thursday, she was 0 for 2 from 3. If she's going to be taking minutes away from people like Emily Rodriguez and potentially down the line, Addie Deal, she's going to have to make shots. Like Kylie's going to have to hit threes. I don't know how you defend having her as a starter with people who clearly are going to be, I mean, I shouldn't say clearly because I know people have, applauded Kylie's defense, but Journey Houston is ready to play now physically. Emily Rodriguez is ready to play now physically. And I even think Taylor Strimlow gives you something from a physicality rebounding perspective that Kylie does not. So
I got one thing to add on there. One thing a lot of fans don't think about in general as coaches is sometimes when you're talking about your starting 5, it may not be the best 5 out there as far as everybody's concerned, right? We know Chit Chat can play defense. Taylor is so much better, light years than she was 2 years ago, right? Like I will give her that. Good job. But
she's never going to be a lead.
Okay. So with that being said, and Emily is not, she is not a lockdown defender. Okay. She's not that. That is not her MO. So now you have 3 guards, technically speaking, right? And if you have a bigger guard on the other team who is their best player and is I'm talking a dog, we're in trouble because we have nobody to guard them. Right? We don't have anybody that's going to be able to stay with them. Chit Chat, you could just shoot over her to a degree, right? Depending on how tall you are. So in those case scenarios, those are things that coaches have to think about because you don't want to start the game and their best player is hot. You do not want that because as anybody who's ever played sports, especially basketball, if that ball has gone in and you 3 for 3, the rim becomes as big as the ocean at that point. And now nobody can stop them. They can throw up anything. Right. And it may go in. So I do understand why coaches do that to a degree, because it's like, we got to have somebody that's able to guard this kid. Now, Emily might be quick off the bench, right? She might be a quick one off the bench to get in for somebody. That's fine. But sometimes you have to kind of play with those. Again, I don't know what Emily can bring as far as defense like that. It's only been 1 game, but we do have to keep that in mind when we're thinking about starting 5s.
Her stat line, I mean, we didn't name her the player of the game, but her stat line might be the most impressive of anybody's tonight. She was 7 of 10. Emily Rodriguez was 7 of 10. By the way, only played 14 minutes, 7 of 10, 17 points, 3 of 3 from 3, 4 assists, 1 turnover.
Bucket.
I'm sorry. I'm 1 personal foul, 0 turnovers, 4 assists,
Bucket.
0 turnovers. That's impressive. Anything else, sir?
No, and the other thing was I was mad in May when a point guard transferred out of Iowa. I'm not so mad now. I'd still like to have it, but Chit Chat. Chit Chat's awesome.
You would have been mad if they didn't get Chit Chat, but kudos to the staff for going and finding someone like her. And kudos, by the way, I think we need to give Lysandra Barrett some serious kudos. If they don't get Lysandra, so give Jan credit for convincing a coach like Lysandra to come up into a cold state and coach here and welcome her into the family. And then, of course, she was able to lure Chit Chat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was in May. I was mad, and then when Chit Chat came, I said who, and now in November, I'm getting ready to order a Chit Chat T-shirt. So
hey,
you got it.
Kudos to everybody involved.
Absolutely. So, thank you for the call, sir. Appreciate it.
Yep. Thank you. See you.
All right. Stavros says, I love how Kachine brings us all down to earth. Great analysis, so we don't just emote. I love it. Okay. A couple things here in the chat, and our phone line is open, so certainly open to calls. RC Deal with the super chat. M looks awesome. Addie will be perfectly fine. Thank you for that super chat. And Jayhawk with a great comment earlier. Ava looks to progress nicely, get to her spots so well. Not trying to overact, but this team might have some nice pieces, potentially solid depth. Steve wants to know how many games should we give Hannah to not be nervous from 3 before he gets worried about 4. I will say that was a comment that was made, a couple of comments by the commentators tonight. Good on them, because that is a big storyline heading into the year. Hannah wasn't able to play the 4 last year because she got hurt in the offseason. She wasn't able to shoot threes and get comfortable. I asked her at Media Day here a couple of weeks ago, have you been healthy throughout the offseason? She said yes, knock on wood. And I asked her, hey, what's your focus been? Has it been from 3? Has it been from mid-range? She said both. Tonight, Hannah Stuelke, 0 for 2 from 3. 10 of 16, she was our RTI Threads player of the game, but did not prove anything from beyond the arc, did not prove to this point an ability to stretch the floor. So let's answer Steve's question, Kachine. How long do you give Hannah before you start being concerned that she has not evolved from behind the 3-point arc?
Well, y'all know, like, all the parents out here, okay? You know, when you have a kid and you tell them, don't do that, don't touch this, don't touch that, what are they going to do? Touch it, right? So we are legitimately putting this into her brain because everybody's asking. It's all over. That becomes a lot. I wouldn't be surprised if she's seeing a sports psychologist, because the pressure of, as soon as she gets to the 3-point line, the fans are, shoot it! That is got to be the craziest thing as a player, for people to be yelling at you to shoot the ball. Like, you're already not like 1,000% comfortable. I don't care if she worked on it or not. She's still not 1,000% comfortable doing it. So everybody just relax. Let her play her game. It'll come to her one way or the other. But the more we like put pressure on it, and like, she's just going to keep retracting and going back to, because she doesn't want. It's like, if I don't do it, nobody's going to talk about it. If I don't do it, people are going to talk about it. If I do it, people are going to talk about it. So she just was like, you know what? I'm going to stick to what I'm comfortable with. So just give her some time. Don't, I don't know how many of y'all, but you and your friends, tell a friend. Don't be yelling at her at the 3-point line. Just let her do her thing. Okay.
I here's my prediction. She ain't gonna be shooting threes unless she needs to.
Exactly.
Okay. If they need someone, if they need to start pulling people out of the paint, she's got to showcase it. And that's when it's going to be important. But I don't want her jacking threes anyways. I want Chit Chat Wright jacking threes. I want Taylor McCabe jacking threes. Maybe Deal. But Hannah is our RTI Threads player of the game. Speaking of jacking threes, Big Grove was a big play of the day. Chit Chat Wright's made 3-pointer with 7:28 in the fourth quarter. Now, when you win by 40, it's kind of hard to pick out a big play of the day. However, I picked this one. This was an executive decision because it showed Chastity's range. That's something that I asked her about at Media Day and showed up on tape in looking at her freshman year at Georgia Tech. Kachine is, she is, although she's quiet, that's why she got her nickname Chit Chat. She is bold when she gets in the zone. Like, she's willing to shoot and pull from deep. We saw that on that 3-pointer. I don't know how far behind the 3-point line she was standing, but that showed her fearlessness and nothing but net, impressive looking shot. her ability to stretch the floor is going to be big too,
Yeah.
with losing Lucy's shot.
Yep, I agree.
What was I going to ask you about? Chit Chat's ability to command a team and an offense. Do you worry about that, like from a perspective of she's not a vocal person? I know that's kind of been a tagline. She's Chit Chat because she doesn't talk. Is that a concern that you lose leadership like Lucy with someone who doesn't talk much?
I mean, Lucy didn't talk either. She was just smiling at everybody. But I mean,
that's true.
But
it is true.
But no, I think she brings a level of calmness that doesn't need to be spoken. And I think that's something that kind of radiates throughout the team. I've been around players like that, and they don't have to say a word. It's just the way that she carries herself, how she plays, and when the game is heightened and she's just like this, it automatically brings you a sense of calmness. So, no, I'm not worried. And I will say this: when she does talk, people are going to listen because she doesn't talk often. So it works in your favor.
How does Iowa play Laila Hayes this year? Is she just somebody who's going to spot Ava Hayden minutes? Because she's a very, I think we talk about Journey Houston being ready for Big Ten play. And I want to get back to Chit Chat on defense for Big Ten play. But how do you play Laila with how good we expect Ava to be, and as many minutes as Hannah's going to gobble up?
Because Ava fouls too much. She tends to make gambles that she does not need to make. Until she gets out of that, you're going to have somebody.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
And I think Iowa staff needs to get on that ASAP.
But you could argue a luxury if Laila is as Big Ten ready as
I agree.
You think she might be. What a luxury to have if Ava's still got that bugaboo.
I agree.
Layla's not a 4 playing the 5. She's a 5.
She's a full 5.
Yeah. So Chit Chat's lack of size, I know that got brought up earlier.
Mm-hmm.
How concerning is that? I asked her, that was another question I asked, like, do you play with a chip on your shoulder because you're small? Yes. Okay. But that doesn't, like tonight they played a D2 team, a good D2 program, but a D2 program.
Mm-hmm.
How concerned are you with Chit Chat being able to guard more physical guards in the toughest league, the most physical league in the country?
Not worried, because she, no matter what, we've seen that she has a little bit of dog in her. We've seen that, right? The one thing that I will say that makes her defense very good, she does not gamble. What I mean by that is, regardless of the fact, she's going to just contest the shot. She's not going to gamble and overcorrect herself or anything of the sort. She's going to make sure that you make the tough shot. And it's not because she bailed you out of it. And that is something that is very difficult to teach, because that's discipline. So I'm not worried, because you're not having point guards posting up. That's the only time I would be worried, right? Like, in that scenario. But I'm not really worried about it because of her discipline on defense. If she was just a small kid who was just scrappy but not disciplined, I would be a little worried. But yeah.
We're going to record a preseason show, an official preseason show, and we'll get some hot takes from Kachine. So, Kachine, you'll have to think of some hot takes, and then we'll record our preseason show. It probably won't be as long as a typical preseason show, simply because we're doing an exhibition post-game show, which I don't think, Kachine, you joined last year for the exhibition post-game show, but hey, we've got about 500 people watching on YouTube. So that's phenomenal. And for everybody who's here, thank you for being here. I think it's amazing that that people are this invested in Iowa, that they want to watch an exhibition post-game show.
That's how we getting 5-star recruits.
Yeah, that's absolutely. Jason Wright says, hope you guys are doing well, Corey and Kachine. Great to be back for another season. Absolutely. And Shep309 says, Ashland's coach had a 205-21 record. And this will not count against that record because it was an exhibition. Seth Shepard, Kachine is spot on. That's a good ball team, talking about Ashland. Okay, the number to call in, folks, final call on the phone line. We've got a few more comments to run through in the chat before we power this thing down, so still time to call in. 515.
How about we take a second and everybody like
Thank you. Yeah.
YouTube.
Like the stream.
That.
Amanda was on this first. Thank you for being a premium member.
Of course
Amanda.
she is.
Hit that like button. It does help us whether you're on X or you're on YouTube. Please do that. It does help us in the algorithm. Here is one of the comments I wanted to get to. Ryan, a little harsh on Addie Deal. This was a comment made here about 30 minutes ago. He says, happy to have her, but not sure what skill set Deal has to make her a top recruit in the nation. That is a pretty harsh comment. But I'm not going to accuse Ryan of living in the moment because maybe he's looking at her other tape as well. I think it's far too early to make comments like that, but that's his opinion. How would you respond to it, Kachine?
Exactly how you said it. I don't think any freshman, I don't care who you are, any freshman that is struggling, I don't think in the first exhibition game that can be said to a degree. Again, she was not ranked like she was ranked for no reason. Now, like I said before, that transition is not always the quickest for some people. Doesn't mean by the end of her career she won't be fantastic, but some people just need a little bit more time.
For someone like Aiden, who didn't watch the game on Big Ten Plus, how would you describe Deal's debut?
Slow. That's what I would say. I think the couple of things that I noticed, I felt like she was like 2 steps slow. In regards to, I felt like she couldn't get past people. And then when they did cut her off faster than she's used to, she traveled. So I think that the game is a lot faster for her right now. So again, it could be nerves. It could be jitters too. I've seen that happen many times where she's great in practice because she was the first guard off the bench. Now, did Coach Jay do that because she proved to be that? Or did she do that because of who she is? I don't know that answer, but we will soon find out.
All right, let's go to our phone line. Thank you for calling Iowa Postgame with Kachine Alexander. Who's on the line?
Hey, guys, this is John.
Hey, John.
Thank you for coming back, Kachine.
You're welcome.
What does it take? I consider Iowa to have a national brand that a lot of people know about. And what does it take for Iowa to be considered a blue blood? Is it the Elite Eight year after year consistently?
That's an interesting one. I mean, they're not blue blood right now. I think we can all say that. But in 10 years since Caitlin came through, they got a chance. I think, Kachine, my short answer in response to John is, because it's a great question, I think it's really hard to establish yourself as a blue blood. I feel like we consider teams that have had past historic success as blue bloods, like Nebraska football. Somehow they're a blue blood because they had all the success in the 90s. They've been irrelevant for 30 years. But for the women, Caitlin may be the exception to that rule because she was so transcendent. But yeah, how could Iowa establish itself as a blue blood? It has to be partly postseason success.
I feel like blue bloods are Final Four, multiple Final Four, and I'm not with, this is together, coupled with multiple championships. So I think that in women's basketball, in my opinion, the UConns, the South Carolinas, LSU is now one, Baylor when they were Baylor, right? Like, I think that teams that you are not surprised when you see their names are Louisville, I would say them. When you're not surprised that they're in the Elite Eight or Final Four. That's to me where I'm like, oh my God, they made it to the, like, I'm not like that. I'm just like, oh, okay.
But is there a difference between blue blood in the women's game and perennial contender? Like Va-Tech?
Oh, yes.
Va-Tech is a perennial Elite Eight contender. Duke is a perennial Elite Eight contender. Gonzaga might even be in that mix.
Oh, for men's basketball, you talking about?
No, I'm talking for women's basketball.
Oh,
What?
I don't know about Duke. I don't know where you got that from.
Is Duke? Duke is not a
Duke has been Duke. Okay, Duke used to be. Duke had a very long period where they were nothing. So I think they're getting themselves back there. I'll give Kara that. She's getting them back where they starting to be relevant again. So that's fine. But I feel like, yes, there's a difference. Like you've got the UConn, South Carolinas up here, right?
Yeah.
And then you've got the other tiers. So I will say that.
I mean, Baylor's not on the UConn LSU level right now.
No, not anymore. I mean, they were.
Yeah.
They definitely were at one point, but not anymore. Mm-mm.
Does that answer your
I don't
question?
know who else I would say is on the South Carolina UConn level. Tennessee used to be, but not anymore.
Didn't Rutgers kind of used to be back when Vivian
That was a
there?
long time ago. Yeah.
Well, wasn't that long ago? Wasn't that when weren't you at Iowa?
Absolutely
when you were
not.
Wait a minute. How were they not good when you were at Iowa?
Nah, I mean, that was all right, but they weren't like national championship, like Elite Eight. Nah.
Okay.
It was before that.
Well, you just said really two totally different things. National championship, Elite Eight. Those are two totally different things.
Exactly my point. So if they were neither one of those, then they were not. So, I mean, but like I said, I think that, I don't know. I don't think that I would put anybody up with UConn and South Carolina right now.
UCLA, USC, either one of those teams?
Not yet. They ain't put in enough work yet. Mm-mm.
John, does that answer your question?
Yes, sir. Lucy Olson, when she came to Iowa, did that bring more exposure to her game, or would she have still, her career be where it's at if she just stayed at Villanova?
Exposure, yes, but the WNBA doesn't care where you play.
Yeah.
So they would have found her anyway. Plus, she was like the top third scorer in the nation, so they knew her anyways.
She definitely, again, I used the term marketability earlier.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what she made NIL wise, didn't really care, but
if we're talking money, then yes.
She was definitely more marketable at Iowa, became
Agreed.
more of a household name. There's so many people now, we hear from them in the chat, people that watch Iowa basketball that had no connection to Iowa prior to Caitlin Clark, and now they like Iowa. So I didn't even know who Lucy Olson was before, because I didn't watch Villanova basketball. That's not a very good program, Kachine. So she went from a program that very few people follow to one of the most followed programs in the country.
Yeah, but when we say exposure, what are we exposing to, though? Like, are we saying for her to get to the WNBA? Are we saying money? Are we saying fans? What's the exposure?
I'm just talking popularity.
Yes, popularity, yes.
But, I get what you're saying. The scouts are going to find you
they don't care.
regardless, especially if you're playing any place D1, but especially if you're playing Power 5 basketball.
For sure.
They're going to find you.
They don't care. Maddie Segrist is a big one. I mean, she's still in the WNBA. She didn't.
Yeah. And there's, look at Dame Lillard was Weber State. I mean, there's always teams are going to find you in the in the NBA. Steph Curry was Davidson.
Yeah, they're going to find you, period. But as far as what you said, Corey, yes, she got way more exposure at Iowa, for sure. Nobody would have known who Lucy Olson was.
Kachine as a coach, I was watching a basketball game last season. His player messed up. The coach subbed him out. He came over to the sideline, and the coach is standing there instructing him, talking to him, and the player is just staring out on the floor. The coach is talking to the player's side of his head. Would that bother you? Because Bobby Knight used to say, "Give me your eyes when I'm instructing you."
It depends on the coach. I think it's a personal thing because you also need to know your players. That's the one thing that Bobby Knight was not good at, is that although he was a great basketball coach, he was not a great people coach, is the word I would use. You either had to be that kind of person to succeed in his system, which is fine. But he isn't able to coach. He wasn't able to coach all kinds of people. So it just depends, honestly speaking. Some people are hearing you, and in order for them to process it, they're not really looking at the court. They're just like processing what you're saying. So it really just depends on the coach and then also the player. So it doesn't bother me as long as you heard what I said. That's all I care about.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, John. Appreciate
No
it.
problem.
All right. Looks like we've got one more caller. And Esther, can you say what the final score was? Yes. 104-63. That I am capable of doing. The Hawkeyes beating D2 Ashland University 104-63 in this exhibition contest. Our Big Grove big play of the day, mentioned that earlier. Chit Chat Wright's big three-pointer with 7:28 to go in the fourth that gave Iowa a 38-point lead. And of course, the Hawkeyes never looked back, winning by a final margin of 41. Let's go to our next caller. We've got Corey on the line. Corey, welcome back.
Great to be here. Hi, Cash. How you doing?
What's up, Corey?
I tell you what, this team is America's team, and the reason it's America's team is America loves an underdog, and Iowa, they're going to be underdogs this year, but they could rise up and make some noise, I think, in this Big Ten conference.
Corey, how many underdogs they ranked?
Well,
I think that's probably that is brand, Corey.
It is.
That is brand, because I don't know how you
1,000%.
could rank this Iowa team with all the change, losing
1,000%.
the last 2 years. They've lost Lucy Olson, Kate Martin, Sydney Falter, Caitlin Clark, Gabby Marshall, Addison O'Grady.
Everybody.
Yeah, so that's brand. I know they brought in 5-star Addie Deal, but that's brand. Now
Ain't looking real 5-star, but yes.
Say that again.
Who's not looking real 5-star?
Well, so far, yes, so far.
That's what I said. So far.
Yeah, seems like her in the paint, she drove it in too deep and then got all clogged up. She needs to stay at like free throw line or just inside the free throw line on those drives and pull up and hit it like instead of getting down in there and getting all clogged up. I'm sure she's going to be fine. I think
I think so too. She'll be fine. I mean, it is overreacting one day in.
I agree. I agree with Kachine though. She's not as fast as I expected. I think too, could be that she's thinking instead of just, letting it go and just playing free. I'm just stunned. Emily Rodriguez. I mean, she looks she's turnkey, ready to go. Is that who impressed you the most, Kachine? I mean, Chit Chat's fantastic too. I mean, between those two,
that's not 2 takeaways.
Unbelievable. I was, and I guess here's an interesting spin. It's not original, but if you want to say that I was not a blue blood,
They're not.
that's accurate. But if you want, if there is say that we're starting a social media fandom, I think that Iowa is going to be the first.
Uh-oh.
Nobody wanted him to say that next statement, clearly.
Yeah, whatever he was about to say must have been very controversial.
Yeah, clearly.
Because we lost Corey completely. So if we get him back, we'll bring him back. Let's check in on him. You want to check in on him? Let's see if he's... Nope. Oh, woof. That's not good. All right. We're going to take him out.
Definitely shouldn't have been saying that.
Somebody...
Corey, we got you back.
Somebody didn't like that.
I guess
no.
not. We didn't catch the end of it, and now he's frozen again. There he is.
I was listening to, and I don't.
Corey got some new internet.
Hey,
What's happening right
all right,
now?
we're not going to do this. Corey, you've got to log back in under a different network. Switch to your Wi-Fi or switch off your Wi-Fi, one of the two, because
He got some new Wi-Fi. He got to get rid of them.
yeah. Bob already.
I got some new Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I see him. He's trying to make it work, but it's still
so funny.
Out on him. So, Bob Tanner says this was the best WNBA game he's watched since Caitlin was hurt. Well, there were some good NBA games.
There were some great WNBA games.
I thought that Aces Fever series was phenomenal.
That was great.
Really good basketball. For the Corey Snuggie Fund. If you think you're going to get me in a Snuggie on this show, I don't know what to say. But
we had one opportunity and it was blown. So,
what are you talking about?
You said you would wear a Snuggie when Caitlin was here and we won a national championship. You said you would get you a Snuggie, but that didn't happen.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'll still wear if they win a national championship. I will still wear a Snuggie. That offer has not gone by the wayside.
That year was insane. We were taking shots. There was a lot going on. Okay. That year was crazy.
It was pretty insane. And that was the year after they went to the national title in her year. That was the
second year.
I was just talking to some people about this the other day, like reflecting on it's almost like that second year didn't happen. My brain is like it still has a hard time remembering the fact that they went to the national title game 2 years in a row.
It was like one whole year. Like it just was, it's all mushed together.
Yeah. It's so odd. Because I remember in year one thinking, man, they just missed a huge opportunity. They'll never get an opportunity like this again.
Facts.
And they were right back there next year. Oh, but that is the Caitlin Clark effect.
Who do we got coming up next? Who do we play next?
Yeah, so the schedule, Iowa will open their season officially next week on Monday. The Hawkeyes play Southern in their home opener in Iowa City. They get Evansville on Kids Day, and then November 13th, Drake. November 16th at UNI.
We play Drake the third game of the year.
That's quick, isn't it?
Ooh!
That's are you nervous? You nervous about that welcoming party for the Drake Bulldogs, Kachine?
Absolutely. Where is it?
It's in Carver, but then they go to UNI.
Okay.
And they go to UNI a few days later.
I understand, but I'll take the Drake at the house third game. Drake there, third game.
Kelly, thank you for being a premium member. She says she just got home from the game. Most impressed with Emily. She got a beautiful shot. Agree that Addie had some nerves. Chit Chat is better than Aaliyah Guyton.
That game, that Drake game, as long as I can remember, has always been a trap game. Every single year. It's hard. I don't understand it.
Well, and Iowa State learned that UNI in the McLeod Center can be a trap game.
Okay. Didn't they lose to?
They lost to UNI without UNI's best player, right? Ofeli was out that game. All right, let's get. We got to. I said before this show started that we were probably going to keep this to a half an hour. We're now at an hour. Corey, you're our final caller. I hope your internet's because this is it.
Yeah. So,
Oh, for Pete's sake! Are you kidding me? 2 words in, like did he connect to a different network?
Hey Corey, we'll see you against.
Yeah, I don't know what to tell you. We can't do it.
Make sure you're the first caller.
It's not working, Corey, and we got to wind this down. But Nick Kendrick did say, is Addison Bjorn going to join? I'm assuming he's not talking about joining the show. Is she going to commit? I know that there's certainly some chatter out there, and they've got momentum. Let's just say that on the recruiting trail. James Douglas, thoughts on the new men's basketball jerseys? They are fine. I don't get crazy about like these. They have the yellow, the gold stripes now on the jerseys. To me, they look very similar to previous years.
Let me go look this up.
Are you some person that cared about your uniform, your jersey? Did you get pumped when you
partly why I chose Iowa was for the colors. So let's.
Oh, come on. No, it wasn't.
Dead serious.
Are you serious right? No, it wasn't.
I'm not kidding. I was not good when I went, so it definitely wasn't for that reason.
Hey, Patrick.
That was one of the reasons. It wasn't the most. It wasn't, but it was one of them.
Patrick says, can't wait for Cash to crap all over our upcoming wins versus Drake and you and I.
Dang. I literally just said winning against Drake is hard.
That was 2 years ago. People are no, that was last year. I'm sorry. That was last year.
It?
I was
well, okay, you're right. But again, and what you know what? Let me not. I'm just gonna leave it alone. Because where did we finish again? Okay.
Kai brings up Tegan getting hurt. I don't have an update on her. Neither of us have been looking at Twitter. It looked like the injury to who got hurt late. Who am I thinking of? Kachine. Who got hurt late in the game tonight?
Oh, Chit Chat.
It was Chit Chat?
Yeah, with her thing, her calf muscle or whatever the case might be.
Okay, so maybe cramps on that one.
I'm assuming cramps. Yeah.
Tegan Mullaney, I'm not seeing anything. Looks like she was back on the bench. Ethan Petrick of the Quad City Times tweeting that out during the game, but don't have any update on her. Dean brings up 16 turnovers. That was a problem last year for Iowa. We'll see. Chit Chat's leadership will help. Again, Patrick, we'll get to those hot takes in our preseason show. Tyler, Strimla looked pretty good last year. What happened there? Did she get worse in the offseason? It's one game, but we do need to see better stuff out of Taylor Strimla. Bobby, thank you for being a premium member. And thank you to all the premium members here. Amanda, Bobby, Barbara, VMS, everybody. Are we seeing the transition from Bluter running gun to Jensen's more traditional post-centric or inside-out scheme? She is the post whisperer. Are we seeing a shift there, Kachine, especially with the lineup this year?
Yes.
Okay. Short answer. Good answer. Amanda, Journey looked pretty good tonight. What happened to Tegan? She got hurt. We'll get an update on her. Esther, thank you for asking how I'm doing. I'm doing fine. And Esther also likes your sweatshirt. It's a Snuggie. Barbara, thank you again for being here. Esther says she was listening to my podcast. Yes, I wanted to acknowledge that. Thank you. ZJ, no word on Tegan. Yes, it was a leg injury. Sarah, I think we addressed this earlier.
Are we sure it was a leg injury? I thought the girl got hit in the face.
Tegan? Maybe it wasn't.
Yes.
Okay, I'm thinking of Chit Chats.
Maybe I'm tripping and she did roll her ankle.
I know she crumpled.
Or hurt her leg or whatever, but I thought she got smacked up here.
Yeah. Yeah, so we don't have an update on her. Brandon, same thing.
Oh, yeah. See?
Barbara says that she tutors Emily. So that's interesting. Very interesting.
Oh, that's cool.
VMS says FGCU, that's Florida Gulf Coast, is playing Queens in January if you wanted to go support Raina.
It's already on my list of things to do.
Is Queens University, wait a minute.
Right in the middle of Charlotte.
That's in the middle of Charlotte. Why is FGCU playing Queens in January?
Can't tell you that. I don't even know. I just saw it on the thing.
Chad says this is his favorite post-game pod, so thank you for that, Chad. We appreciate you being here.
That's a funny comment.
RC Deal, what do we think of Taylor McCabe's wonderful three-point shooting night? She was 3 of 6 from 3.
I think you should change your profile picture to Taylor McCabe.
Yeah. And username to something about McCabe. Yeah, she was good. She's going to have to make 3 threes a game, 2 or 3 threes a game.
Absolutely.
To warrant her starting, I think.
Absolutely.
J.M. Ramsey, what do we know about Southern this year? Do we know anything about their season opener? We'll talk about that in our preseason. About that. I'll do some research on Southern. Aaron, thank you for being a premium member. We appreciate you joining. And Kevin, thank you for being here. I can't get to everybody's comments, everybody's chats. Honestly, I didn't think
baby blue blood. That's funny. He said Iowa's a baby blue blood. Baby blue blood. Wow.
Baby blue blood. Eric says you're the next head coach whenever Jan retires. There we go.
She's not retiring anytime soon. I'll be old by then.
Yeah, your daughter's going to be in high school by the time Jan.
Right.
All right. Honestly, Kachine, really appreciate you sticking around for so long because I did not expect the reason why I gave the estimate that I did. I didn't expect we'd have so much attention for a 41-point win over Ashland, but Iowa women's basketball
Hawkeyes, do
fans,
you?
yeah, they never fail to disappoint.
Every time.
Every single time. So a big thank you again to RTI Threads, Big Grove Brewery. You see their logo up in the corner. And of course, as we continue throughout the year, you'll continue to hear plugs for our great sponsors. Please support them. It does mean a lot when you do support our sponsors, and you can support all of RTI Threads' great gear. I'll give you a quick glance at their website and some of their athletes that they currently have on their website. If you haven't seen it before, here it is. Aaron Graves, what a difference he's made on this year's team. Jacob Gill, Zach Lutmer, Carson Shire, all of those athletes, a part of the RTI Threads family. Just go to rtithreads.com, use that /NIL, and shop your favorite gear from your favorite players, and they make for great gifts. Again, rtithreads.com/NIL, and shop your favorite Hawkeyes today. All right. Why did the screen on my end get really small there? Okay, let's see if we can get it back to normal. Okay, that's close enough. You can't see what I see, so that's good. Folks, we'll be back for a preseason show, and then we'll have post-game coverage throughout the year. Kachine, thanks for being here. I hope we didn't drive you off before the season even started. So we appreciate your time as always.
No problem, guys. We'll see you soon.
All right, for Kachine Alexander, I'm Corey Bratta from the Hawkeye of the Storm. Have a great night, folks.